Hi, welcome to Songbird Garden Design Channel. I'm Mary Beth and I'm here in beautiful sunny Southern California on a spring day. I know it's been pretty tough for a lot of us having to stay at home, and from the amount of emails I'm getting, I can tell those honey-do lists are getting pretty long, especially when it comes to garden work. So I'm hoping to answer some of your questions here today, starting with basic planting methods. Let's go. So it's springtime, you're ready to plant. But before you do that, you want to make sure the plants that you get are right for your zone. I recommend looking up either the USDA or the Sunset Guide planting zones, so that way you'll know exactly what zone you're in. I happen to be in zone 18 for Sunset and 9 for USDA. The tags on the labels at the nursery should have that on the tag. Make sure you check that, as well as the amount of moisture that's necessary and if they can take full sun or shade. I grabbed these two just to show you the difference between the sizes. What you'll be using mostly in your backyard is the 1 gallons, which is, this is a typical size of a 1 gallon, or a 5 gallon. This beautiful plant here is a Cistus X purpureus. It's a Mediterranean plant, perfect for my climate. This is a 5 gallon. Now here's the thing. You want to make sure that when you dig your hole, it's at least twice the width of the diameter of your pot. So this 5 gallon pot has a diameter of 10 inches. So we want to make sure the hole that we're digging is at least 20 inches wide. So now we've got the hole, we've got the plant. Now this is very important. We want to make sure not only do we have the right width, but how deep should the hole go. So you take your plant, make sure you loosen it up. Before you purchase your plant, take a look at the roots. Make sure they're not coming out of the bottom of the pot. That usually indicates that it's root bound, and that's not such a good thing for the plant. It's been sitting there quite a while. The roots get girdled, and it's not as easy for that plant to acclimate to the soil. This plant looks pretty good. Nothing coming out of the bottom. Give it some pressure. Don't be afraid. Won't hurt the plant. Loosen it up. What I like to do is take a good look at the roots. My hand rake, and just loosen it up a bit more. All the way around. Now, just like a human being, a plant has a good side and maybe not such a good profile. So we want to put it down and take a look at it. What's its pretty side? That looks pretty good to me. You also want to make sure that at least 1 inch to 1.5 inches, if not even 2 inches in some cases, the root ball of the plant is above ground level. Also, looking pretty good. Now, if you're in Southern California, like I am, most of the soil in this area is a pretty heavy clay. What does that mean? The particles are really tight and close together, so it doesn't allow a lot of space for air and water to percolate through the soil, as well as nutrients that the plant needs to take up. So what I do is I add an amendment. There's lots of different amendment products on the market. I like to use Kellogg's. I prefer it because it's a combination of organic materials that really help with the structure of the soil. It allows for the moisture and the air and nutrients to work through this heavy clay. And it also adds nutrients that's necessary when you first plant, the nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, to give it a little boost to help your plant. So let's do it. First, I mix about 50-50 with the native soil. We put that on the very bottom, right where the plant's going to go. Again, make sure you pick the side of the plant you want to show. Position it, and then backfill with the native soil. And I like to add more amendment. My soil out here is really heavy clay, so it could really use help. Again, about 50-50. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Want to make sure the root ball, once again, is above the surface of the ground. We've got our soil. I like to just give it a press down. Not too hard, just enough to settle it in. One last thing though, mulch. Mulch is really important. What's the difference between a mulch and an amendment? Amendment is something you add to the soil. Mulch is what we place on top of the soil. It keeps the soil moist, cool, and it suppresses weeds, and it gives your garden a nice overall finish. Last, we want to do a couple of things. We want to give it a good water, and then we want to add a mulch. Now, if your hose has been sitting around for a while, the water in the line is hot. Make sure you empty out any water that's in the line, or that really hot boiling water could hurt the roots of your new plant, or any plant. When you know it's cool enough, give your plant a good drenching. I watered the plant before I put the mulch on because the mulch is going to make sure that that moisture stays in the soil and doesn't evaporate as quickly. This particular mulch is just a shredded bark I picked up from our local nursery. Give it a good 2 inches, at least. Now you want to make sure that the mulch never gets too close to the root ball. What happens is we tend to overwater. So if that mulch is right up against the root ball, it'll start to rot. So we want to make sure we give it enough air. So leave it a good couple of inches. And that goes especially for any trees you'll be planting. Okay, and I like to give it one more drink of water. So there you have it. This planting method really applies to all of your plants, whether they be 1 gallons, 5 gallons, 15 gallons, 24-inch box trees. Really make sure you have a good amendment. The hole must be twice as wide as the diameter of the pot that the plant comes in, and make sure that root ball is above the root surface. Good mulch can't go wrong. And that's it for today. Okay, that's the helpful tip for today. Please come back, I'll have some more information for you. Like and subscribe.